Monday. How's your Monday going? Oh, okay. I just about drank my 2-day-old coffee. We don't want that. We're going to continue our discussion today regarding saddle fitting. Pretty excited. It's been a couple months since we've gotten to do one of these. Waiting for him to join our live. Hello.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's mommy Lord?
Oh, exhausting. It's exhausting, but it's
Uh,
worth it.
yeah. My
Yeah.
my girls are going the second time around, and this is I can't wait to get rest again. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if you don't have one, you don't understand it.
Yeah.
I heard
It's different.
a
Yeah.
great saying. One person said, you don't really have reached full capacity of life unless you had a child.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
You get a whole
so
new understanding and
yeah.
appreciation for when you were able to just get up and leave the house. Not anymore.
So tell me a little bit about, did you get feedback? What people say so far? Did they like what we do?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people, they really like it. They're learning a lot, as am I. And a lot of people like that it kind of integrates naturally into what we're going through in our real life right now. We're back to having some more saddle issues with the redneck, so trying to figure out what's causing it, if it's because he's lost some weight recently over the winter. He was quite heavier last year when we got him fitted into the saddle and it fit, and now he's lost a bit more weight, so we think it might be too big. So they like that the saddle fitting lives has been integrating very nicely in with our daily life. So that's been
Cool.
a bonus. Kind of, not really, but it's been working.
So, um, one of the things what we always have to remember, I would love if I can buy a saddle and that's it. And I don't have to worry about it because I
Yeah.
have to worry about enough with horses. From feed to hay to the shoeing, the teeth. It's like a non-stop working thing.
Yeah.
So now comes the saddle. I have to think about that too. But if you look at it from a different perspective, it's actually not that bad. And the industry, especially we are focusing, why don't we go back to where we educate the consumer so they can do what the soldiers used to do? The soldiers used to know, what am I going to do if he's all of a sudden a little bit short on the front left? Because they couldn't just stop halfway through the quest. Oh, I got to get my saddle checked.
Mm.
They needed to do they call it tweaking. They tweak something on the saddle. Today we think with stuffing, we create, or saddle fitting, we create the solution. No, right? It's kind of like if you have a really bad back and somebody says to you, you know what? It's your bed. Your bed is shitty. You need to make your bed every day. And you're going to look at them. But I do. Stuffing is like pulling the sheets nice and flat so you don't have wrinkles. Putting your sheets nice, or who cares how many count of thread your linen has, if the mattress doesn't give you the support, your back will hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the mattress on saddle fitting is the frame, the tree. The flocking is, it sounds, I'm trying to belittle, which is not the point. The flocking is important, but it's the least amount of important. From the 12 other points, you can do what we call the tweaking. So on the old saddles, as I said, the soldiers had the ability to change the angle of the billets, or the fall of the billets, I should say. Some Western saddles have the ability, you have different D rings where you can put your larigal on. Some Western saddles has a sliding D, so you can put it from full to 3/4 to center fire or 7/8. Okay. And then there is a lot of knowledge what got forgotten, because like humans, they have genetic a dominant side, right? So, and like humans, they have the dominant side on the right. Now, some people say it has something to do with the way they lie in the womb. Some people say, oh, it depends. Do they start the first lick on the mom's side on the left or right side? Some people say genetic, all kinds of philosophy, 5 different ones. But the fact is, human and horses have the appendix always on the right. right? Until you're a freak of nature, then maybe
Yeah.
you have the center or on the left, but always on the right. So why is that so important to understand with horses? Because when we take a wild animal out of their natural behavior, which is what? Roaming
Grazing,
in the,
feeding.
that's right, roaming in hills up and down, 20 plus miles a day foraging for food. 17 hours the head is down and they're producing a saliva while they chew on stick, on some grass or whatever. So the saliva, that's what we need when we learn to ride, make the horse chew. Not with some fancy foam or sugar. No, I go in the dressage ring and say, look, my horse is showing. No, when you chew, the horse produces the saliva, what breaks down the ulcers and the colics, right? So back to the stomach, to the appendix. When the horse stands and he has a choice, he will always support his trunk with the right foot and stretches his left foot forward. There's more weight on the heel of the toe on the left. So you see the majority of the horses have a longer left toe. On the right foot, a shorter toe, a higher heel. Hence the way they stand. Now you see this typical on horses what grow up with a big herd when the area is flat and they're in captivity and they're not have the ability to walk 20 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wild horses, when they go up and down the hill, put their supporting leg where it's needed.
Yeah.
So if the wind comes from the front, they turn the butt towards the wind because hearing, hence the big ears, is very important for them. Survival, right?
Yeah.
So they put the butt to the wind. And if this is the hill and the horse would graze on a hill like this, they're not going to put that forward underneath and that left forward because
Mm-hmm.
if they would do, they would roll down the hill. So here now, if they graze this way, being that hill, they put the left leg as the supporting leg and this right leg goes forward. The wind changes, they change direction of the graze. Now the right leg becomes the supporting leg. So from the 260,000 measurements I took over the last 45 years, we have them all on paper and
Mm-hmm.
recorded. There's approximately 150 Mustangs who have captured and then become in the riding field. I yet have to measure a Mustang what is uneven in the shoulders. All captivity horses, 70%, 70% have the mane on the right. They're bigger on the left, and their left shoulder's further back, right shoulder's further forward. 20% mane is on the other side, left side. So right side, 70%, left side, 20%, only 10% have the mane absolutely even from pole to withers. Now, what has that to do with saddle fitting? Well, it's very simple because in 1857, one of the famous colonels, McClellan, built a saddle. And he made sure that the soldiers know how to tweak it. So they can have the rigging individual left to right depends on the mainfall. Oh, interesting. But sometimes you have a horse that has the mainfall on the first part of the neck, from pole to middle of the neck to the left, and at the wither area to the right. So that's often when the horses have C3 or C4 out. That happens fast. Okay? But in general, the mane goes in one direction or the other. So the fact is, whatever size is higher pushes the mane comb and falls in the hollow side.
Really?
Yeah. So that has something to do with what billets you use. Like on jumping saddle, general purpose saddle, you see sometimes 3 up to 5 billets on one side.
Mm-hmm.
On dressage saddles, you have 2
True.
billets. And one of the 2 is adjusted on the back V. In order to bring the billets in different position, left and right, like in the old days. So It's amazing how much we focus ourselves. Ah, I got to get that saddle stuff. It doesn't fit. When the billets placement, you can do this as your own on your own saddle. Remember, I said my dad taught physics and math, and one of
Yeah.
his favorite saying is, "The person knows the how will always follow the person knows the why." So many times when you ride a horse, he grows up. Hopefully, he doesn't pushes his neck down. Hopefully, you get the horse where it lifts the base of the neck up
Mhm.
and get the proper muscles, the top line, and gets to shift the center of gravity more to the hind leg and lifts his whole rib cage. With that, same with humans. If you have a really shitty posture because you stop riding, you put your kid all day long in front of the TV and you do all this all day long, social media, your
Yeah.
shoulders will go small, come together and go forward. But if you keep riding and carry your kid around, while the kid gets heavier, right,
Yeah.
you're starting to using muscles. And these muscles develop what? Bring your shoulder back. And as every rider in this world wants to get the saddle off the shoulder because we don't want the horse having breathing problems. We talked about the lung meridian point
Hmm.
once, right? Or the
Yeah.
stumbling, right? So what if the shoulders come back now? Do I need to buy another saddle? Ridiculous. Yes, that's what the industry wants you to do. The industry wants you to buy disposable saddles. Because first I'm going to sell you a boatload out of pads, then I sell you the Wonder Girth, and then I say, your saddle doesn't work. So after you're going through lots of shin pads and a lot of different girths, if you could have fixed yourself the billet system, you could have saved you a lot of money.
Hmm.
But that's not what the industry wants. The industry
No.
wants you to buy, buy, buy.
Yeah.
So why would I go against that? Because I lost my best friend, my horse, from not knowing what I do. Because let's face it, every horse is wider here and it goes narrow towards the front. The girth will always go there, no matter what your shoulder is on the horse. So when your shoulder gets bigger and further back, the girth line, or girth groove we say sometimes, all of a sudden is in the wrong spot. It is more forward. I show you. I have a picture here. That's from a book what's over 20 years old, written by veterinarians. We know that the metal plate has to be behind the shoulder blade of the horse. Now, most billets come out of the center. Look where the girth groove is. It's
Yeah.
in front of the saddle now. Here you got a wonderful horse. You love him to pieces. And you're doing an awesome job. But now the billets gonna drive that metal into the cartilage.
Hmm.
The off-balance saddle is bridging. Oh, I need to stuff my saddle. Do you really think if you pull the bed sheet straight, your back pain is gone?
No.
It's not the stuffing. It's a stupid girth alignment. And it's so easy to fix. So easy to fix. So remember I was telling you that sometimes horses have uneven shoulders,
Yeah.
and the percentage is quite shocking. So when they grow up, okay, we start riding the horses sometimes when they're 1.5 years old, Western or English, and compete them with two, racetrack or whatever. So most people start to ride at 3.5. The scapular and the other bones haven't fully developed
No.
yet. We already sitting on them. The growth plates don't finish until they're 6.5. So Mustang, because of 20 miles walking a day, 20 miles, I yet have to measure an uneven structured Mustang. 70% of all captured horses have uneven muscles.
Hmm.
The bigger shoulder kicks the mane either to the right or the left. Do you honestly think that you can train a deformed bone straight?
Yeah.
No,
No.
absolutely not. Yet there are the people with opinions, like we talked about in one of our upset, belly button. Everybody has
Yeah.
a belly button. Everybody has opinion. They try to convince you, oh, special lunging, with special saddles, with special training, I'm making straight. If you have all your life, especially when you grew up, wearing very pointy feet, and you have deformed toes and a big bunion here, if I'm going to give you reflexology, special foot training, will your bone structure on your foot change?
No.
So if I put a backpack on your child, when your child, I mean, I don't even know if they crawl yet. Your child is probably still laying back.
Yeah.
No parent would ever give a child, when they barely walk, shitty shoes or weight to carry what is on one side. You know you want to deform that kid's spine. So because the industry is driven by money, okay, and fortunately, many veterinarians who do autopsy, they now feel the need of saying, oh my God, we have a lot of horses where we see a lot of horses with damaged shoulders. So here you see a tree, this veterinarian holds, so this horse is dead, skin is off, and that's where the saddle should sit. This is the cartilage of the horse's shoulder. This is without cartilage. All this bone deformity is because of the saddle didn't fit. And this could be avoided. 1 out of 12 important parts how you can tweak your own saddle if you know, not just how, but why. The why is easy. If you have a light bulb, can you visualize an old-fashioned light bulb? You would tie a wool thread around it, what would happen? Where would that wool thread go? To the narrowest part. The second you try to make it tight, it slides right forward. So think about the horse being the light bulb. Wider here, narrow there. So second you put the girth here, and it will slide forward. And it jams the saddle forward. So because the horse has the ability to hide pain, okay, the second the horse trots, it can hide pain. Yeah. That's given by these horses, right? And because, yes, you were saying, what about condition when they change? But they change because of these factors, okay? Yeah. So for me, I would never, ever buy a saddle because of what I went through. I paid the biggest price. I lost my best friend, my horse, because of not knowing what I know. And this is why I'm so passionate talking to you about it. See, when we talk to each other and we spread our awareness, especially what science can prove now, I think many horses can get saved from long-term damage from the equipment. Never mind how much money the customer can save. Yeah. And how good you feel. Is that, oh, I took the thumbnail out of my shoe. Now it's not so bad anymore. And imagine you can do that to your horse. So if I have the option of changing my billets, why not? Right. So what do you do again? Tell me. Did you do Western, English, jumping?
Right now, we're doing English. I do enjoy jumping, but we're using a dressage saddle right now because that's the only thing I could afford. So it's just a used hand-me-down. But mainly English, and then if I ever got a Western saddle, just for fun. But I do jumping is kind of like what I like to do for fun.
Yeah. So my number one advice for anybody who's listening, when you buy a used one or new one, hand-me-down or present, ask for a non-disposable saddle. Don't ask for disposable. People will say, I never heard these terms. Well, the reason why I use these terms, because when I say disposable saddles, this is because that's what the industry wants you to buy. So you keep buying, right? So if you say, no, I want a saddle where I can learn, I can do the tweaking. For example, you say dressage. The billets is more important than the stuffing. Your dressage saddle, when it has 2 long billets, should be attached to not at the metal point at the front, which we call the point billet. It should be just attached behind it. And the second one, like a Wintec has, comes to a V to a second billet. So when the saddle is girthed on, then we get the saddle free, One part of the saddle gets sold down with this billet, and the other one has a V, what's attached here, where my two fingers are. So you got 1, 2, 3 attachment, pulls the saddle down, and then that V, can you visualize it?
Yeah.
Attach it to the billet. But the back here has a clip. So you can move the billet forward, or you can move it into the spot where the girth groove is.
Mm-hmm.
So Wintec is one of the less expensive saddles. I'm not a salesman for Wintec, but they realized that one of the most important tweakings, if the customer knows how to do it, is to adjust the clip, which is not rocket science, but when you know why, then it's easy. If you just keep cranking the back down, you just create atrophy. So if you look, I don't know if we talked about this in our previous one, but if you look at a gate, a normal garden gate, or you go to an indoor arena and you look up at the ceiling, sometimes you see massive wire crosses going underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they're for?
Support.
Absolutely. They give the building the strength. Now, on the old packing saddles, on the McClellan saddles, that billets are crossed. What do you mean crossed? If you cross the billets, then you will do a couple of things. We talked about this last time when I showed you this, the tricep. What these muscles do, they lift up this two bones, right? So, and I put my tape around my muscle.
Yeah.
Remember, I try to do this movement. So if you take the first billet and you go back towards the second buckle, here comes the trick. Undo the buckle on the V and move the back billet forward. Now you're crossing the billets internally. But your whole billet setup is in front of the saddle, what I showed you.
Yeah.
The girth groove is there. So now you tie the wool thread around the light bulb where all the thread is, not around the widest part. So your billets sit and they will not pull the saddle against the shoulder. What about the cross? It will hurt the horse. Right, so let's look at the area where they will cross. So what happens is the first billet pulls away from these three muscles and cross where nature crosses the superficial muscle to the second buckle. The back V, loose the back clip, follows with this line, cross here to the first buckle.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have a girth up, you even out the V, tighten the clip, not too much. So the girth is here, but the saddle is evenly supported, like you said, on the roof. You know how many people don't know the cross billet system on a dressage? How come it is so easy to do, yet so little few people know that?
Yeah.
Very easy answer. The less you know, so more I get paid.
Yeah. Exactly.
You need massage, you need chiropractic, you need injections, you need a new saddle, maybe a new horse.
Yeah.
But if somebody is so passionate as you are and so patient bringing these horse back, wouldn't that be no to know a simple trick like this?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be no to know that sometimes you only cross on the side where the billet, where the mane is, but not on the other side?
Yeah.
Because what you want to do, you want to purposely have the left billet supporting the saddle from twisting into the right side of the shoulder. If you don't do that, okay, these are not machine animals. These are horses what have spines. And you can try it yourself. You can go on your knees and on your leg and play horsey and pretend you're the horse.
Yeah.
And you can close your eyes and say, okay, from my tailbone to my neck, my spine is straight.
Mm-hmm.
But without a foot, what you can do, without moving a foot, you can push that rib cage out. Your feet have not been moved. And now I come back to the appendix. All the digestive system is on the right. Horses never fight in nature from the right side because they're guarding their guts.
Yeah.
right? When they fight, they come from the left.
Yeah.
Oh, we mount the horse from the left because there was a soldier with the sword. Really? What do the jockeys care with the soldiers? Why do 99% of all racetracks in the world go to the left?
Yeah.
Why is every trainer in the world says the right leg canter is a little harder than the left? Because the horse has digested food and does this easy.
Yeah.
Left leg canter. Now I have to learn the right leg canter, squish the guts, squish my intercostal muscle and stretch that. Well, if we understand the organ placement, if we understand the nature of the horse, then we need to think we got to help them sometimes, especially if you have to ride right after feeding, which is not so recommended, but what
Yeah.
do you think the ribcage does?
Yeah.
Right? So if we understand we're riding a living creature, your billets offsetting is so important and it stops the avalanche. Sorry, it stops the little pebble, what rolls down a hill with rocks, to create a massive landslide. So my takeaway from this message is look where the horse's mane is and bring the billets more forward on the side. Because most likely that one side is bigger, what made the mane go in here,
Yeah.
and the bigger side is going further back. Oh, I'm going to train it. You're not training it. For sure
No.
not if your saddle is crooked. Okay? And you don't know if it's just muscular or bone structure.
Yeah.
The saddle wants to go here. The rider will compensate. So if you want to be fair to your horse, if you don't understand the billet system, I mean, we go much more in detail on our
Yeah.
YouTube channels, and we also do personal consultation when it comes to let me show me your horse, try this, and then, oh my God, he stopped leaning in my right hand and my
Yeah.
leg. Just because of that, once you see it, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But you cannot straighten a horse unless you stop having the saddle crooked. You know, if you would be one of the best dance instructors, no matter what dance, but I come or your friends come to your class and there were a running shoe on the right and a dancing high heel shoe on the left. Why would you teach them?
Yeah. No.
They will suck in their performance and you know they quit because they will have massive back pain.
Yeah.
Okay? So having equipment that puts uneven pressure to the spine will be a problem. And the billets from the saddle can help it.
Yeah.
But people didn't know. Did you know that with the mane? Did you know that you can shine that?
No. I might have
So
heard it once and forgotten about it, but no, I'll retain that a lot better now. But yeah, no, that's new for me.
yeah. Like I said last time, right? My dad taught so many classes and we got to give examples because I can easily do this. I don't believe it. But if I hear different stories,
Yeah.
I can relate. I hear the little guy waking up. Is that your
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. He
Oh,
just woke up.
he
So
said, half an hour is over, Mom. Let's go.
yeah, literally half an hour. That's all I got.
Good seeing you again. Can't wait to
Yeah,
talk to
you
you next
too.
time.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.